Alright, now let's go on. We are left with list of headings and there are 5 paragraphs and we're just going to find heading. Okay, I'm reading it from the beginning. Section 3, questions 28 to 32. The text on pages 26 and 27 has 5 sections. Now they didn't use the word paragraph. They said 5 sections. One section may have 2 paragraphs. Can you see section A? How many paragraphs? Section B and section C? 3 paragraphs. Section D and section E? 2 paragraphs. Okay. For list of headings, it's a good idea to start with the shortest paragraph, then the second shortest paragraph, right? Then the third one, and the longest paragraphs you can leave for the end. Okay, don't follow the order that I will start from A. First you can start from B, then you can do D, and then E, and then you can come back. There is no problem. You can do it anyways. Okay. Now, for list of headings, it is important that you read, understand, and interpret the heading. If you do not understand the heading, you will put, and headings are so confusing that you would see one heading is good for every paragraph. You want to put it everywhere, okay? So this is how when you have the wrong answers. Now, important point, interpret the heading. Let's read headings together. Heading number 1, solving the puzzle of papyrus document. In one paragraph, they will talk about the myth of papyrus document and how to solve that myth. So A will go there. Yasin, please attend this call. Heading number 2, importance of written records and different ways of recording them. In one paragraph, they will say written documents are very important in our life. Today we have our ID cards, certificates, blah, 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 and all that. Heading number 3, use of papyrus for a range of purposes. In one paragraph, they will say with papyrus, people made boats. With papyrus, some people made baskets. With papyrus, some people made rope. So, range of uses. In one paragraph, they will talk like that. Heading number 4, suggestions for future possibilities for papyrus. Future possibilities are mostly in the last paragraph, okay, if there are any. Because, you know, there are 5 questions and there are 8 headings. What does it mean? 3 headings are extra, and these 3 extra headings are enough to confuse you. And if you use those 3 extra headings, your 3 answers will be absolutely wrong. So be careful. Next, heading number 5, how papyrus was cultivated. Now listen, when one heading has and, you have to be careful with the second part. One part is cultivated. Second part, different manufacturing methods. Now if with cultivation, they talk about manufacturing method, this will go there. But if they talk about cultivation only and they don't discuss manufacturing method, then it will not go there. Heading number 6, decline of papyrus use, and this will come in the last paragraph. Decline. Initially they will say it was very popular, people wrote different documents on papyrus, and then towards the end they will say paper was invented by Chinese and people stopped using papyrus. So this heading, I mean, you should know where this paragraph is going to be. Heading number 7, preservation and destruction of papyrus documents. In one paragraph, they will say how to preserve them and how they get destroyed. If you remember, we did a paragraph about insects and all that, probably it will go there. Heading number 8, process of papyrus production. Now can you see heading number 5 and heading number 8? They are a bit confusing. Heading number 5 is how papyrus was cultivated and different methods, manufacturing methods. And heading number 8 is papyrus of process of papyrus production. So be careful with these 2 headings, okay? Now we start from heading number 1. Paragraph A. The reading skill which you need here is called skim reading. Skim reading is you read quickly, and by the way, for list of headings, first sentence, if first sentence is a general sentence, then second sentence is important. And sometimes first 3-4 sentences are all general in the middle they come to the point. So what you need to look for is what is the gist or main idea of this paragraph. Once you find the main idea, you will match a heading with that main idea. And sometimes main idea is as simple as in the first sentence, first 3-4 words will give you main idea, you'll become happy. And sometimes main idea is in the middle, otherwise at the end. Okay, so let's see. I'm reading paragraph A. Libraries and archives are cultural crossroads of knowledge. Now this is general information, I'm skipping it. Please come to third line after full stop. Bureaucracies have become the backbone of civilization as governments try to keep track of population, business, transactions and taxes. At personal level, our lives are governed by documents. What does it mean? Our lives are governed by documents. It means documents are very important. If you don't have ID card, if you don't have driving license, so our lives are governed by documents we possess. We are certified on paper, literally from birth to death. Birth certificate, death certificate and all that. And written documents carry enormous cultural importance. So he's talking about documents and their importance and all that. So, which heading is appropriate? Go down the list and tell me which heading is appropriate. And when you use list of headings, you use Roman number. Okay, correct option for paragraph A is heading number 2. And heading number 2 is importance of written records. And for that he said at personal levels, our lives are governed by documents and different ways of recording them. And then he talked about birth certificate, death certificate and all that. So one heading will be used once only. Question number 28, section A, heading number 2 is the right answer and you will cross heading number 2 as well. Okay, so that you don't use it again. And if you have one wrong answer, you will make 2 wrong answers. For example, heading number 2 is for some other question and you use it for some other question, 2 wrong answers. So be extra careful. Okay, now please come to paragraph B. Papyrus is strongly associated with Egyptian culture, although all the ancient civilizations around the Mediterranean used it. Papyrus sedge is a tall grass-like plant. It was harvested from shallow water and swampland. Anything about harvested? Heading number 5. Heading number 5 is cultivated. Now cultivated and harvested are 2 opposite things. First you cultivate and then you harvest. So you cannot harvest before you cultivate and then you harvest. So it's not that. Leave it. It was harvested from shallow water and swamplands on the banks of the river Nile. Manufacturing sheets of papyrus from papyrus sedge was a complex, messy process and then hammered together. So what is he telling us? How to manufacture, process of manufacturing. That is heading number 8. Heading number 5 is how papyrus was cultivated and manufactured. He did not talk about cultivation. He talked about harvesting only. Okay. So right answer is heading number 8, process of papyrus production. They said you join them and then hammer together and all that. Okay. Now please come to options paragraph C and you should cross heading number 8 also. Once you are done with one option, you can cross it, okay? Now please come to paragraph C. In moist climates, cellulose-rich sheets of papyrus would readily decay, becoming covered by mold or full of holes from attacks by insects, but in dry climate, such as Middle East, papyrus is stable, rot-resistant, writing surface and all that. So he's telling us when does it decay and when is it stable. Now see if there is any heading about preservation, about destruction. That is heading number 7. And heading number 7 is preservation and destruction of papyrus documents. Now what is destruction? Readily decay, becoming covered by mold or full of holes from attacks. That is destruction. And second is preservation. What is that? Dry climate such as Middle East papyrus is stable, rot resistant, writing surface. Okay. So heading number 8 is gone. Now we move on to next paragraph. Paragraph D. And D starts like, there is D. Yeah. Besides their use in record keeping, papyrus stems were used in many other aspects of Mediterranean life. What is that? Range of purposes. As for boat construction, making ropes, sails, baskets, as well as source of food. So what is that? Range of, exactly, heading number 3, use of papyrus for a range of purposes. That is for food, boat making, rope making, basket making and all that. Heading number 3 will go there. And finally, we've got paragraph E. E for elephant. True paper was probably invented in China in the 1st century. Okay. Like papyrus, it was constructed from a meshwork of plant fibers, but the Chinese used fibers from the white mulberry tree, which yielded a tough, flexible material that could be folded, stretched and compressed. The adoption of this paper by Western culture soon rendered papyrus obsolete. So obsolete means decay of papyrus and they started using paper. Which paragraph is that? Which heading? Heading number 6. Decline of papyrus. And what is the word for decline? The adoption of this paper by Western cultures soon rendered papyrus obsolete. Rendered papyrus obsolete means decline of papyrus. So for question number 32, section E, right answer is heading number 6.